Hello, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu. Hey, Robin.
Hey,
It's so good
Terry.
to have you in the studio today. What do you
Thank
have for us
you.
today?
Well, it's the beginning of the year, and I'm a very excited person today
Oh,
because
good.
I'm actually going to go. This, excuse me, this might be too much information I'm sharing, but I'm going to go get a doctor's appointment today that I should have taken or I should have had. Well, I was supposed to have it every other year, and it's been 3 years because of the
Mm,
pandemic.
yeah.
You know how we canceled our screening with the pandemic, we
Mhm.
canceled our a lot of our tests and things like that.
Yes.
So I'm thinking for 2023, we should encourage people to get back on track and
Mm.
do their health screenings. It's January and kind of take stock of where they are with their health and start the new year out knowing, how they're doing because sometimes it's not pleasant to know.
Yeah. But it is helpful for preventing
hmm
what could eventually turn into a crisis.
hmm hmm And on BizChicks, we have two stellar holistic health coaches that work with women
Mhm.
that are over the age of 40, Maureen Stevenson and Linus Woods Mullins. And one of the things that um, Maureen has done for me, and I know Linus does this too, is if you go get your blood panel done, because we should do
Mhm.
a blood panel every year, before you have your blood panel done, you should have a conversation with these ladies because they'll tell you what to tell the doctor to test for.
That's true, huh? Because we don't know the language, we're not really um, knowledgeable in those areas as much as these ladies are, and they can help guide our questions because the doctor's probably doing something ordering something very general.
Mhm, mhm.
Mm, mhm.
So, like your thyroid and your stats on your vitamins, like your potassium and, those kinds of things you don't think about, but they do. And that's how they track our health is by looking at our stats. So, yeah, so we should get a blood panel done every year.
I
I have
know
my
that when
Go ahead.
I have my screenings and the results come back, I get these little notes from the doctor, please go back and take this test or that test. Yeah, they're looking at the numbers,
Mhm,
and that's how they make their assessment.
mhm. Yep.
So if you ate something you had no business before you took the test, guys, it can throw the screening off. Because sometimes when I get there to take the blood test, Robin, they said, "Did you fast?" And I'm like, "It didn't say anything about."
There's 2 kinds, right? There's fasting and non-fasting, and the non-fast or the fasting one is the one where they wanna check your sugar levels.
Ah, well, I had to come back because I. So there's another tip. Check to see if it's something that requires or does not require fasting. Um, but some of the screenings that I'm looking at for this coming year are I haven't had my eyes examined since the beginning of all the wonderfulness. That's 3 years.
Do you wear glasses, Terry?
I wear glasses
I never see you in glasses.
because I can see very well. And one of the things when I went to get my license renewed, the guy said, "Well, try looking at the chart without your glasses." I could read the chart. He said because sometimes the different types of vision improve with age.
Mhm.
So I was able to see that, and I mean I can see the computer. I see better. It's clearer. And I just think it's time for me to get serious about preserving my eyesight.
Mhm. We take our eyes for granted, we really do,
Mhm.
and it's one of the things that I feel like I need to take better care of my eyes.
Well,
Yeah.
my mother suffered with macular degeneration, and she
Mhm.
eventually ended up legally blind. because
Oh.
of her sugar, because
Mhm.
she had diabetes.
Mhm.
Um, I don't have any of that going on, and I don't claim any of that because when you learn better, you can do better.
Mhm.
So I'm more conscientious, but I do know that I need to have my eyes checked on a regular basis, and I have coverage. It's not like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's a hardship to go do it. I just haven't done it because I didn't want to be up in the office with people that I don't know what their condition is poking around in my eyes.
Yeah, and I guess things in 2023 are going to start opening up, and we're going to, we're still going to mask up when we go into the doctor's offices and things like
Mhm.
that. I think that that's just a wise,
And I think it's required. I think they require it because they don't know who else is in there.
actually, you're right. I think they did. oh, Some cities are actually requiring masks again.
Yes. Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
saw that. And I just highly recommend it. And one thing we need to notice is that China has always had a season where the people put their masks on before the pandemic. They
Mm-hmm.
had, like, when flu season came, you'd see them on public transportation, they were masked up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that this is going to become a common practice, excuse me, for those of us who are concerned about the fact that they keep talking about different variants are coming out, and they've even put up a new alert for travel from different countries. So yeah, but I do think we have delayed things enough. The other place I have not been in 3 years, and I know this is gonna blow your mind, the dentist.
Ooh.
I know I have not been, and I need to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
I agree. Well, I went a whole year without a teeth cleaning because
mhm.
of that. Yeah, because the dentist wasn't they didn't want us in there for just regular old teeth cleaning. No
Uh-huh.
problem. Come in, we'll clean your teeth kind of thing, but they didn't want us to come in. Yeah, so I'm going to catch up this year on all my screenings. So you we're talking a lot of screenings.
So let me mention a few. One is a hearing test,
Mhm.
the eye exam.
Mhm.
How about blood pressure,
Mhm.
a bone density scanning,
Mhm.
a review of our vaccinations? Are we current?
Mhm.
Cancer screenings,
Mhm.
colon screenings,
Mhm.
and that's just to name a few.
Let's talk a little bit about colon screening
Mhm.
because that one is so easy to do, but it's so hard to do, right?
Yes.
And they have the one where you do the fecal test at home and send
Mhm.
it in.
Yes.
And my husband died of colon cancer.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
I really encourage people to do their fecal test every year.
Mhm.
Even though it's just so unpleasant. But we should do that because
Mhm.
if he had done that, we might have caught his cancer a lot earlier. He was stage 4 when we caught his cancer.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, the fecal test. And then, if we're over 60, we should get a colonoscopy and ask for a colonoscopy. They will say, no, 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 just do the fecal. But you got to ask, you got to advocate to get your colonoscopy because
Because
they won't.
I think they only give it to you every 5 or 10 years or something. Yeah.
Mhm. If they find something, it's every 5 years. If they don't find anything, it's every 10 years. And I still don't think that's soon enough. So
Yeah,
I
I don't
I
either.
really I go in there and I say, I want my colonoscopy, even
Okay.
though I don't have any risk factors. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's wise. I really do. The other thing they were talking about is that there are several screenings that are recommended that women have the following tests. The HPV, the
Mhm,
papilloma virus
mhm,
test,
mhm,
the test for sexually transmitted diseases, diabetes screenings, and
mhm.
here's the one I love, the mammogram. Don't you just love that one?
I'm
Oh,
scheduled next week for my mammogram.
oh, mercy, mercy, mercy. It's just like, oh, now it's time for the big squeeze. Oh, and I see that our subject matter expert is actually in the studio.
Oh,
Rhonda.
yay! Okay. So we have with us one of the best coaches in the world. Lennis Woods Mullins is a holistic wellness coach for women over the age of 40. And I could go on and on and on with her credentials, but I'm not going to because we need to get her on so she can give us some advice. Um, but
And
yay, Lennis, good to see you.
so let me add her to the screen. I want to
Hello,
say
hello.
Linus is not at home, so we're going to give her the stage right away because she has a lot going on, and we want her to be able to share with us.
Hey,
There you
everybody.
go.
Sorry I'm a little bit late. I am on grandma duty and I'm have my little one occupied for now, but just 15 minutes ago, Vaseline everywhere, and I turned my back for like 30 seconds. Okay. She is just a walking time bomb of activity. So,
Yay, that's a good thing.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what they say. But anyways, glad to be here on the. I guess this is the first broadcast for happy, healthy habits in 2023, and
Yes, it
I
is.
wanted to talk real briefly about something that you're going to hear me talking a lot about, and that is mental wellness. I think we
Mm,
have seen a lot over the last couple of years, in particular, that mental wellness is an issue that we have in this country, and it's something that we need to be talking more about. And what is mental wellness? Well, for me, mental wellness is when you're feeling emotionally balanced,
mm,
and that you also have the right kind of support to stay mentally well. We go to the dentist, we go to the doctor, we go to the eye doctor, we go to other folks to help us with our general health. But how many of us actually have a therapist that we go to? Usually it has to be some kind of an event or something that happens. And then we decide, well, maybe I need to get some therapy. When in reality, there's nothing wrong with going to a therapist to preventatively address some of the issues that you may have emotionally. We live in a world where we are bombarded, the senses are bombarded with all kinds of things every day. And yet, and still, we're expected to keep pushing forward, keep being productive, playing all these different roles that we play in the lives of so many others, that many times our own mental health can begin to slip. And sometimes it rears its ugly head through, emotional eating,
mm.
sleeplessness, the inability to focus or concentrate, relationships start to slide, maybe even things at the workplace begin to go away, or you begin to be less productive. All of these things could be in direct correlation with your mental wellness. And so
Wow.
most people think, okay, well, I don't have time to go to the therapist, or is not part of my health plan. It's expensive. And you're right. I understand that it is expensive. So there are some things that we can do also to take a look at what other kinds of things could be happening that might be contributing to our mental health and the fact that we're just not feeling as well as we should be mentally and emotionally. And that is gut health. Now, I could talk forever about gut health, but let me just explain to you what gut health is. Gut
Okay.
health, which is basically your tummy,
Hmm.
is basically making sure that what's in your tummy is healthy and not contributing to other issues of concern that can make you sick. Believe it or not, there is good bacteria in your gut called saprotrophic bacteria. And then there's bad bacteria, which usually comes into our system from the food that we eat, mostly
Mm,
processed foods, sugars, alcohol, carbonated drinks, all a plethora of things, some of which you might think are okay for you, but they just don't contribute to your gut health. But the good news is that you can get on a gut healthy diet that will help you to clean up the gut. But sometimes just doing that, having a gut healthy diet, and I'll go over that in a second, could be very helpful. But the reality is that even with the gut healthy diet, you still need a little extra help to get rid of that stuff in your gut that doesn't belong there. The reason why
mm,
when the gut health, the reason why the gut health is important when it comes to our mental wellness is that there are neuron receptors in the gut lining. And these neuron receptors survive from taking the blood that has been processed as a result of the food that we eat and using that to nourish their abilities to send the right transmitters to the brain. If these neurotransmitters are picking up all that unhealthy digestive process, then they're not going to do their job as well. And that's when you start having issues around brain fog, lack of concentration, anxiety is a big one, depression, sleeplessness, and emotional eating, cravings. It all starts with what's going on with their gut. And that's why I'm so passionate to educate people about the things that they can do to do better and to feel better. Now, there's all kinds of ways that you can improve your gut health through the food that you eat. I just want to go through a couple of things real quickly. You want to make sure that you're eating lots of dark green leafy vegetables. You also want to make sure that you are eating legumes. Beans, that's a very good thing too, because you always hear about the beans cleaning out the system, but they're also good for your gut as well. Another thing is to make sure that you're eating fruit, blackberries, raspberries, bananas, apples. Some of the artichokes, by the way, is a gut healthy food. Lentils, also chickpeas, those are all gut healthy foods. You also want to make sure that you add fermented foods to the diet. Normally, fermented foods are something that's more in the Asian diets, but we do have some things in our American diet that we eat occasionally that are fermented, like yogurt, for instance, or sauerkraut. But some other things that you might want to take a look at is kimchi, kefir, kombucha. Those are all fermented foods, and it's the process in which the sugars they contain are broken down by yeast or bacteria that really helps the digestive process and helps promote a healthy gut. Other foods that you might want to take a look at would be prebiotic foods and also probiotic foods. And it's interesting because people say, well, what's the difference between prebiotic and probiotic?
Thank you.
They address different needs of the gut microbiome, to keep it as simple as possible. And we need both. And it's really difficult to get all of this from our foods. One of the reasons is because of how our foods are grown. Many of our foods are GMO. Even organic foods, if it's not grown in the best, in really, really rich soil, it may not be as nutrient rich as we would like it to be. So then you want to take a look at, well, what else can I do to supplement and to help create a healthier gut? And you want to, do your homework in terms of the kinds of supplements that you might buy, because you'll see in the grocery store it's prebiotic, probiotic. They could work. You want to get a certain amount of strains. You want to get a certain kind of strength. And many times those aren't actually in the store. And that's when you want to get with your holistic practitioner, your nutritionist, or maybe even your wellness coach, someone like me that has access to these really powerful supplements that can help you to stay gut healthy. Eating whole grains can be very helpful when trying to clear up the gut, and having a plant-based diet, quite frankly, minimizing your meat as much as possible can be very helpful. And eating foods that are rich in polyphenols, like cocoa, grape skins, green tea, blueberries, onions, almonds, broccoli, and even red wine, just a little bit of red wine, can be very helpful when it comes to dealing with the gut. I am offering, for those people who are interested, an actual gut healthy consult, where if you've been having some digestive problems, or more importantly, if some of the things I mentioned in terms of what you're going through and how you're feeling, if any of that resonates with you, like for instance, you might be feeling sluggish, or you're feeling stressed or depressed or anxious, or you're having emotional eating, or perhaps you're just not feeling as engaged as you normally are. You're not sleeping well. All of these things could be directly correlated to the gut. And I would love to talk with you more specifically about it, because there are things that you can do to help with that. There are products that you can take. Full disclosure, there's a product that I absolutely love that has made a major difference in my life. I've said this before, but I suffered from anxiety, an anxiety disorder, for many years, and I managed it through a lot of holistic practices. But when I started taking this particular supplement, it made a huge difference, and I no longer have any anxiety. I mean, I should be anxious right now about whatever the 20 month is doing, because it's really quiet. My door is closed and there's no crying. That means that she has gotten
To
into
something.
something. My
Way
daughter's in
too
the process
quiet,
of
girl.
childproofing everything, and not everything's childproof. So I would imagine she's probably in lotion and, perfume more than
Do
likely.
you need to go check?
Yeah, I'm going to go and check, but I wanted to say a couple of things. I am going to be doing a Distress the Mess webinar on January 26th, which talks
Mhm.
about stress, anxiety, and holistic things that we can do to reduce our stress and anxiety. And this is a
Mhm.
good way for you to find out, what's going on with you and what kinds of things you might want to incorporate. And I'll also be talking about supplements and herbs and vitamins and things like that that can be very helpful in reducing the stress in your life, reducing the anxiety in your life, because these things are huge. When we don't take care of these kinds of feelings, inevitably they feed into our overall health and wellness. And next thing you know, you're dealing with chronic disease, high blood pressure,
Mm.
unwanted weight gain, and other issues of concern. So this is really important. So please join me in the Distress the Mess webinar. There it is, January 26th. Thank you, Terry.
Mhm.
At 2:30 p.m. PST. It's only $29, and you're going to get a wealth of information, as well as my Distress the Mess book, which talks about all the things that I'll be covering there at the webinar.
And you can find this link over on Linus's
Linktree.
link link tree.
Mhm.
And I put the link tree up there. It's in the chat, and it's also on the screen if you want to take a screenshot. Go ahead, Linus.
Okay, that's all. That's it. I am going to run because I just heard something crash.
All righty then.
I'm
All
supposed to
righty
be
then.
babysitting
Thank
and I'm
you
not,
so
I'm
much.
not doing a good job. My daughter's going to come home to chaos.
Bless your heart. I know you got to run. We love you, and we will
Thank
continue to
you.
let people know about the
All right.
seminar.
God
Bye
bless
bye.
everybody. Bye bye.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Uh, that was funny. Okay. But I do want people to know that they can go to Linus's link tree. You can see it there. Let me also do this. It says present. I'm going to stop the screen share and go back and put it back up where people can find her link tree. Can you see that? Because when we put these things up, Robin, we're flying blind. We can't see because we're on two different screens. So let me make sure that you unmute yourself, Robin.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see her link tree in the chat there.
Looks
And
good.
also this is what the page looks like when you get there. And at the top is the webinar information for you to click on and register.
Well,
Okay.
I'm signed up.
Oh, good. So let me go
I'm
back
gonna
here because
de-stress my
Linus
mess this year.
is no longer speaking. And here we are. Okay. So, guys, we want to encourage you to get your screenings, also to take care of your gut health. And let me put Robin in the position that she's supposed to be in. So, Robin, what else do you have for us today? Do you want to share what's happening?
So next week is January 12th already, and we
Mhm.
have Jill Weston with us. We haven't
Ah,
seen Jill for it's been a little while. And so I'm really excited to catch up with Jill and see what she has for us. She is our Calm Your Chaos and our Yoga Nidra instructor. So that'll be fun to see Jill.
we look forward to it. She's going to help us breathe,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which we may need to do if we're signing up for all these screenings. Oh my goodness. So
It
with
is
that,
stressful. It is stressful to
it
dig
can
around
be.
and figure things out, it
Yeah, it
is.
can be, and it may take a while to get an appointment because I think everybody's like, you know what? I'm tired of putting things off.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, hmm I had a family member who had surgery um, 2 days ago, right after the holidays, because they'd been,
Waiting.
waiting, yeah,
Mhm.
building up to it. And also, I think also that the hospitals are cautious because of all the additional
Mhm.
things that they have going on.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, with that, we want to remind you that it's okay to make money in your business. But before we do that, what do you have for us? We know that we're going to be hearing from Jill
Jill next week. Yes. Yeah,
from the
we
beauty space.
yeah, and it was really fun to listen to Linus about her mental health thing because we actually got to talk to Dr. Jackson last week about our
Mm,
mental health. And so there's this little kind of nice theme that is going on with us this year that we're going to be concentrating on getting our mental health, our brain health, and our gut health um, on track.
I think it's really important. I think we have been under such unusual conditions for
Hmm.
the last few years that we haven't even acknowledged
Hmm.
that we may have had some effects, some on our mental health. So with that, we look forward to talking to Jill to help us calm our chaos.
Hmm.
And we want to thank you so much for all you do for us. We want to remind everybody that if you're looking for business opportunities, you may want to call Robin. She has a great business opportunity. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that before we leave, about the ERC, um, but you can do that if you so choose.
Well, a week ago, I learned about this program called the Employee Retention Credit, where
Hmm.
a lot of the employers don't know that they qualify. In fact, there's over 5 million employers that still qualify that haven't applied. And Terry, and I'm trying to get Terry to help me with this, because what we want to do is we want to help employers apply for these fundings that's due to them as a result of their loss of revenue during the pandemic. And so, what am I missing, Terry?
Well, if you know someone who has W-2 employees,
Mhm.
please reach out to us. We would love to help them get these funds. It doesn't cost anything to apply. And so we would just like them to at least see if they're eligible,
Right.
especially if they have 5 or more W-2 employees. So even if you have 2, call us anyway. Let's see. The money sitting on the table is over $400 billion in this pot of money,
Crazy.
and you may be entitled to a piece of it. A grant does not have to be paid back. So, you know, what do you have to lose? With that, we want to remind you that it's okay to make money in your business. So go to the front of your own line. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye, everyone.